Devils make huge signing. This is perfect. If you're uncertain about something, adding extra options is smart. Let's get into it. Welcome in to Devil's Digest. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. For Tom Fitzgerald, not done yet. Shane Lachance signing his entry-level contract with New Jersey after his season came to an end with Boston University last night in a 6-2 loss to Western Michigan in the national championship game. If you guys don't remember, Shane Lachance was acquired by New Jersey previous to the deadline, involved in that Trent Frederick deal to Edmonton with Boston, kind of helping them out, and Shane Lachance coming to New Jersey as a part of that deal. I think, people are wondering, why are we taking out contract space? Why are we, helping other teams? Well, this was pretty much the primary reason to that. Taking a look at his stats this season, 30 points, 40 games, 27 points, 40 games the season before. Pretty good numbers in college hockey. Look, he's a center. He's big. Upside is there. Looking at, all when you look at Shane Lachance as a full package. Now, I guess the question is, and I think what Devil fans might be wondering, is this someone who they look for on the playoff roster? Is this someone who gets NHL game time? Now, they have 2 games left, Boston and Detroit. Could you see him get in those 2 games? I wouldn't be surprised for multiple of reasons. You want to see where he is at in terms of, is he NHL ready? Is he going to be in the NHL? Players got to sit. You kind of want to get players rested. You have the playoffs coming up this coming weekend. I think you definitely want to get some of these players, in some rest, get them a little bit, healthier coming into the playoffs. And I mean, from what we saw today, there is definitely a chance that Paul Cotter, is suspended. So when you look at those things and you look at where the Devils sit at in terms of where they are in the standings, obviously locked into that 3rd seed, you kind of getting close to the playoffs. You might want to give some guys a rest. You might want to also see what Shane Lachance has. Can he come in here? Can he play in the playoffs? Is he an option for the playoffs? I think those are kind of probably questions that some of you guys might have, and myself have as well. Obviously, season comes to an end. You sign him, and you're hoping that maybe he adds something. That probably brings me to my next point. You look at the Devils lineup, and you see how it's set right now. When injuries started to happen, I kind of was saying, find something that works and stick with it. Well, Sheldon Keefe has definitely played with the line since then. It's a new lineup basically every single night. Some players are in the lineup, some players are not. Andre Plott's playing first line one game, fourth line the next game. Daniel Sprong's in the lineup. He's not in the lineup. He's definitely mixed it around. One place where they seem to have not found what they want to do, completely don't know what they want to do, is 4th line center. Sometimes it's Lazar, sometimes it's Dowling, sometimes, they're moving Cody Glass down there. It's all kind of over the place. Now, Glass has probably played better than the other 2 that I mentioned, and he's kind of found himself up in the lineup at times. He's been on the 2nd line. He's playing 3rd line right now. They've been able to move him around. But in terms of a 4th line center, the Devils have not found that. They don't know what they want to go with. Now, I'm a big Kurtis Lazar fan. I think Kurtis Lazar fits as a great 4th line center. I think he does a good job there. Good penalty killer. I think there's a lot to like with Kurtis Lazar. It's clear the Devils feel a little bit differently because of how often they're changing it, how often, they're running different players in the lineup. And Kurtis Lazar probably, in terms of point production, has not had the year he's wanted. I think he's got 2 goals, 3 assists. It probably has been a down year for Lazar. So when you look at Lazar having a down year, when you look at Dowling really not being a full-time NHLer, Does it hurt to go ahead and give Shane Lachance, the younger player, a shot? I don't think so. I mean, you have 2 games remaining. You go and see what he can do in these 2 games. Now, do I think, this is someone who they're really, trying to push for the future with and trying to, get him part of this lineup? Possibly. I don't see it, though. When you watch Shane Lachance, I mean, he had pretty nice college numbers. It doesn't seem like this is, someone who's going to be in and has a lot of upside in terms of, coming a middle 6 player. I think he's probably, his ceiling is more of that 4th line role. Now, do the Devils now feel, a little bit better with a younger, maybe a little bit of a bigger Shane Lachance in the lineup than they would with maybe, Kurtis Lazar or Justin Dowling? That's a possibility. Now, obviously, when playoffs happen, you want to have options. You see at the deadline, teams stacking up on defensemen. They get a bunch of defensemen because injuries do happen. I mean, we've already had a bunch. There's nothing to say that we're not done in that department yet. So when you think of those type of things, and you have a player who you just traded for, he's young, he's big, maybe it's something a little bit different than, a Lazar or Dowling. Do you want to give him a chance in these final 2 games? Do you want to see what he can do in these final 2 games? That's where I think the Devils are kind of going with this. I would honestly hedge on the fact that he does play in at least one of these final 2 games. Just for, a rest standpoint. Because you look at this lineup, players have battled injuries. It's been a long season. You kind of been playing almost that playoff mentality since, beginning of March. So when you look at those types of things, I think that's kind of where, Fitzgerald and Keefe are thinking with this. You get to go get a player, you can put him in your lineup for these final 2 games, see where he's at, and also give other players rest. So I think that's where the Devils are feeling, with Shane Lachance. Get him in the lineup, see what he can do, see what he can add to this Devils team. Can he add something to this Devils team that maybe, Lazar or Dowling can't necessarily add? That's where I think the Devils are going with it right now. So do I think he gets into one of these final 2 games? I do. Playoff time, is he a game 1 player? We'll have to wait and see. Maybe he comes in and he does play really well. Maybe, I'm underestimating, how much upside he actually has. So maybe he does come in and he is a surprise, which I don't think any of us would complain about, and, is able to fit in on this playoff team. Because like I said, he's a big boy. He can help, be a little bit more physical for the Devils. The Devils in past years weren't as physical. They made, obviously wanted to be much more physical this year. They showed it in the offseason. I mean, they went out and they got players who are physical, who hit, who, are a presence on the ice. And it definitely has made them a tougher team to play against. And when you're in the playoffs, that's what you need. You definitely do need some toughness. Now, obviously, you want to get more chances. You want to convert on your chances. There is an element of the toughness to the game. I mean, game 1, the first round of the playoffs, I mean, however long you play, whether it be, obviously if you go full 2 weeks or if you play, it's a quicker series, that little sample size right there is the most physical time of year. I mean, the first round is more physical than any other round. So do you want to maybe go and have a Shane Lachance in there as opposed to a Justin Dowling? Maybe that's what the Devils feel would be better for them. So we'll have to wait and see. I do assume he gets into at least one of these final 2 games for the Devils, and they're going to get to see what he can do. But, sign Shane Lachance, entry-level contract. Let me know what you think below. Let me know what you think. Would you like to see Shane Lachance in the lineup? Do you have, someone between the players who I mentioned or someone else you'd like to see take that 4th line center spot for game 1? Let me know in the comments. Let me know down below. Hopefully you guys hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys really soon. All right, take care, guys.